Hello, fellow Midjourney people. In my last video, I played around with words that tend to create color explosions, without directly naming any colors. The goal was to shake up the visual tone of Midjourney outputs and add more vibrancy. It worked to some extent, but the results were a bit unpredictable and didn't always give specific colors. So this time, I wanted a clearer, more direct approach. I used actual color words, paired together, to create interesting combinations that guide the palette more intentionally. For each combo, I made one 16:9 image to show just the colors alone. Then I created 4 vertical 9:16 images where I added a subject to the prompt. The subjects are djinn, butterfly, castle, and clockwork, gnome. Each chosen to test how well the colors play across different kinds of forms and themes. The results are often surprising, sometimes cohesive, sometimes chaotic, but always revealing something about how Midjourney handles color language. Let's dive in and see what came out of it. Arctic white and molten gold. A cold, pristine white backdrop is pierced by streaks of intense, glowing gold, like sunlight, reflecting off an icy expanse. The contrast feels both regal and elemental. A crisp, mineral palette emerges with cool pale tones layered beneath vivid golden veins, evoking the look of polished stone or frozen ore. The color execution is highly faithful, with many elements, particularly the gnomes and butterflies, showing clear, deliberate use of shimmering gold against pale, icy foundations. Black and radioactive green. A pitch-black void comes alive with searing, almost toxic flashes of neon green, like biohazard symbols glowing in the dark. It feels volatile, charged, and uncomfortably vivid. Toxic green pulses vividly against deep black across every composition, creating a harsh, almost supernatural glow that instantly grabs attention. The intended palette is nailed with precision, and the subject matter, especially the butterflies and gnomes, frequently leans into literal depictions of bioluminescence and hazardous energy. Bubblegum pink and toxic yellow. Playful pink crashes into a jarring, acidic yellow, creating a sugar-high chaos that's equal parts candy and caution tape. The result feels loud, and borderline surreal. The visuals explode with hypersaturated pink and searing yellow, pushing the playful palette into a nearly chaotic sensory clash. Color accuracy is spot on, and literal combinations, like pink castles, two-tone butterflies and neon gnomes, emphasize the artificial, almost cartoonish intensity of the pairing. Crimson and seafoam. Deep, blood-red tones meet gentle seafoam greens, like passion colliding with calm. The palette is rich and strangely balanced, fierce yet soothing. This palette strikes a strong visual contrast, with vivid seafoam tones playing against saturated crimson in both natural and fantastical settings. The accuracy is excellent throughout, and the subjects often lean into literal two-tone interpretations, especially the butterflies and gnomes, giving the combo a storybook-like clarity. Electric blue and saffron. Blindingly bright blue surges against a backdrop of rich saffron, evoking lightning bolts over a golden desert. The pairing crackles with high contrast and restless energy. High saturation blue and bold saffron are used in near-perfect balance, generating visuals that feel charged and vivid without clashing. The color match is highly accurate, with literal applications, such as face paint, butterflies, and gnomes, emphasizing the contrast in striking, deliberate ways. Electric green and bubblegum blue. Vivid green pulses next to soft, sugary blue, creating a hypermodern pastel clash. The look is synthetic, punchy, and unexpectedly fresh. Neon green and soft blue-pink tones merge in a surreal, hypersynthetic palette that feels both electric and candy-coated. The color delivery is spot on, with frequent literal application in hair, clothing, architecture, and accessories that amplify the dreamlike contrast between acidic brightness and bubblegum softness. Emerald and peach. Lush emerald tones blend with soft peach, like forest shadows catching early morning light. The contrast feels organic, elegant, and lightly whimsical. Soft peach and deep emerald are consistently rendered in a warm, fairy tale-like harmony that feels both lush and inviting. The colors are true to the prompt, with florals, clothing, architecture, and accessories all embracing a clear balance between richness and delicacy, often with a gentle literal flair. Fire, orange and violet. Flames of burning orange ripple through deep violet haze, like a sunset bursting into flames. The combination is bold, theatrical, and unrestrained. Flames and smoke dominate the imagery, blending vivid orange with rich violet to create a dynamic and cinematic mood. The palette is highly faithful, and subjects like butterflies, castles, and gnomes often appear engulfed in or radiating these two tones, enhancing the fiery drama feel through literal visual storytelling. Fuchsia and midnight teal. Hot pink ignites against a deep teal darkness, like neon signs glowing over ocean depths. The effect is moody yet dazzling. The imagery leans into high contrast and moody saturation, with vibrant fuchsia vividly layered over deep teal shadows to create a rich, almost nocturnal palette. The color fidelity is excellent, and many subjects, including textiles, wings, and architecture, feature direct dual-tone applications that enhance the lush, dramatic tone. Glacial blue and cherry. A cool, icy blue wraps around bright, ripe cherry red like frost edging a fruit. It's clean, sharp, and sharply contrasted. Frosty blues and rich cherry reds are clearly defined throughout, delivering a crisp, cool warm contrast that feels both clean and vibrant. The match is especially strong in environmental shots and object details, with several elements, like trees, butterflies, and gnome outfits, showcasing the palette in direct and literal ways. Gold and scarlet. Shimmering gold dances with rich scarlet, evoking royalty, drama, and opulence. It feels ceremonial and unapologetically bold. Bold and dramatic, the visuals immerse everything in rich scarlet and gleaming gold, creating a luxurious, ceremonial feel. The palette is highly accurate, and ornamental details, especially in butterflies, garments, and gnome accessories, are rendered with literal opulence that mirrors the intended grandeur. Hazel and blush. Earthy hazel browns meet soft pink blush in a grounded, romantic pairing. It feels gentle and nostalgic, like old photographs. Muted browns and soft pinks blend seamlessly into a gentle, romantic atmosphere that feels warm, vintage, and quietly emotional. The tone is consistent across all subjects, with frequent use of literal floral motifs and soft lighting that enhance the palette's nostalgic tenderness. Lavender and crimson. Soft lavender hues brush up against raw crimson, like calm reason facing a storm of emotion. The tension is magnetic and poetic. The pairing lands with strong visual clarity, contrasting soft purples with vibrant crimson to create a mood that's both dreamy and intense. Color fidelity is excellent, and many scenes, especially the lavender fields and character outfits, present the hues in literal, well-separated ways that reinforce the thematic tension. Maroon and cyan. Dark, velvety maroon is jolted by bright cyan highlights, like antique velvet struck by neon. Its old-world richness meets digital glow. Dark reds and bright cyans are used in sharp, deliberate contrast, resulting in a palette that feels both vintage and futuristic. The color match is solid throughout, with many compositions, especially gnomes, castles, and butterflies, featuring direct and balanced use of both tones in stylized, literal forms. Midnight blue and copper. Inky blue depths are lit by metallic copper glints, like stars winking in a night sky. The pairing feels industrial and celestial. Rich, inky blues are threaded with luminous copper, creating an elegant and moody contrast that feels both industrial and celestial. The pairing is executed with precision, and many elements, like the butterflies, gnomes, and castles, incorporate literal metallic textures and patina effects that emphasize the palette's refined depth. Moss green and rose gold. Dusky moss tones blend with warm rose gold shimmer, evoking forest floors dusted in luxury. It's earthy sophistication with a metallic twist. Earthy moss tones pair gracefully with soft metallic rose gold, producing a palette that feels grounded yet refined. The color usage is highly accurate, with literal moss textures and coppery accents showing up consistently across accessories, butterflies, castles, and character design. Mustard yellow and eggplant. Bold, murky yellow meets dark purple in a vintage-feeling clash. The palette is unexpected, retro, and a bit rebellious. Golden mustard and deep eggplant tones are rendered with bold clarity, resulting in a palette that feels distinctly vintage and theatrical. The contrast is vivid and consistent, with literal motifs, like vegetables, butterflies, buildings, and outfits, directly showcasing the unexpected harmony of these rich, muted hues. Peach and mint green. Soft peach mingles with refreshing mint, like summer sorbet under morning light. The effect is airy, light-hearted, and crisp. Delicate and pastel-toned, the visuals lean fully into the softness of peach and mint green, creating a light, whimsical atmosphere. The palette is faithfully represented, with literal elements like fruit, butterflies, and castles, rendered in gentle, candy-colored hues that reinforce the airy and playful vibe. Periwinkle and tangerine. Dreamy blue-violet meets zesty orange in a playful yet striking palette. It feels youthful, unpredictable, and electric. This set uses the contrast of soft periwinkle and bright tangerine to create a lively yet refined visual impact, with both colors standing out clearly in every frame. The theme is executed with high fidelity, especially in the inclusion of literal oranges and flowers, making the palette feel fresh, playful, and highly intentional. Sapphire and bone. Deep sapphire glows against the pale matte texture of bone white, like gemstones set in ivory. It's refined, cool, and timeless. Muted bone tones paired with deep sapphire blue create a stark, elegant contrast that feels both ancient and precious. The color pairing is applied with precision, and literal elements, especially skulls, gems, and ornamental butterflies, highlight the blend of organic and jewel-like textures in a visually cohesive way. Sepia and ultramarine. Warm, dusty sepia collides with intense ultramarine, like an old photograph dipped in ink. The look is vintage drama with a surreal twist. This pairing leans into a vintage illustration aesthetic, with warm sepia tones acting as parchment for vivid ultramarine accents that pop like ink on aged paper. The colors are sharply defined and consistently applied, with many scenes, particularly the butterflies, castles, and character art, evoking literal sketchbook or etching effects. Storm gray and neon coral. A moody overcast gray bursts open with vibrant coral shocks, like lightning in a digital storm. It's turbulent, modern, and full of contrast. Muted grays serve as a moody backdrop for sharp neon coral accents, creating a palette that feels both urban and futuristic. The combination is consistently applied, with literal elements like sneakers, butterflies, and gnome. Accessories. Emphasizing the contrast between subdued neutrality and sudden electric pop. Teal and coral. Rich teal flows with lively coral, like ocean waves against a reef. The look is fresh, tropical, and balanced. Balanced and tropical, the visuals layer soft teal with warm coral in a way that feels both fresh and harmonious. The color pairing is well preserved across all subjects, with coral reefs, butterflies, buildings, and gnomes offering literal and consistent use of both hues in vibrant yet controlled compositions. Turquoise and rust. Bright turquoise is grounded by deep rust, like oxidized copper and weathered iron. It's both aged and vivid, like a forgotten treasure. The visuals strongly reflect a weathered, industrial aesthetic, with turquoise surfaces peeling into rich rust textures that suggest age and decay. The color pairing is executed with high fidelity and literal textures, especially on walls, butterflies, and gnome outfits, enhance the distressed, patina-like effect intended by the combination. Violet and chartreuse. Deep purple and piercing yellow-green clash like royalty meeting radiation. The combo is loud, surreal, and unforgettable. Striking and surreal, this palette contrasts lush violet with sharp chartreuse to produce a vibrant, otherworldly tone. The colors are highly accurate and often appear in literal pairings, especially in the butterflies, florals, and fantasy architecture, enhancing the palette's bold, almost bioluminescent feel. One thing I want to mention before we wrap up: using color words in prompts can sometimes produce unexpected results, especially when those words have a double meaning. A lemon might not just give you yellow, it might literally summon the fruit. Flamingo pink could bring in a bird, not just a hue. Sometimes, these surprises are fascinating and artistic. Other times, they're a little off from what you actually wanted. That's where SREF styles or personalization options still have the upper hand, offering more consistent and precise visual control. But if you enjoy experimenting, this method can definitely spark some fresh ideas. Now, if you like digging into prompts and getting inspired, I've got a growing library of prompt PDFs over on Patreon, along with occasional exclusive videos that don't make it to YouTube. Supporting me there helps me keep testing, experimenting, and putting together these videos. So thank you to all my current patrons. You're on the screen now, and I appreciate every one of you. I also have a Ko-fi page if you prefer one-time support, or just want to check out the same content from a different platform. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. What was your favorite color combo from this set? Or better yet, suggest your own pairing down below. Thanks again for spending time with me here. Thank you so much for watching, and let's continue prompting.